Peace, everybody. Welcome to the Vital Hoops podcast. My name is Fernando Cardenas, aka International XB. I am your host. This is episode number 25. Once again, I'm happy to be here with y'all. I love doing this. I love what Vital Hoops is and what Vital Hoops stands for and what Vital Hoops is becoming. So listen, first and foremost, vitalhoops.net. Our brand new website is up. Finally, listen, it's nothing crazy, but please support and go check it out. You know what I mean? Go on the website. We got some things coming up for sure, but right now it's just, you can check out my bio. You can, check out a couple things, what Vital Hoops is about. You know what I mean? You can always contact us through there, we always love to hear feedback. Any guests you would like for us to have on the show, any recommendations, any positive, constructive criticism. And don't hesitate to hit us up. But we definitely gonna have some merch coming up real soon. So yeah, make sure you stay up on the site, check it out, vitalhoops.net. And we're also working on some, other things, but that'll be in the near future. But for now, definitely go to the website, and merch coming real soon. So all right, so Sunday, February 19th was the NBA All-Star game. It took place in Utah. Team Giannis versus Team LeBron. Unfortunately, we didn't see KD, Steph, or Zion. All the other All-Stars were there, I believe. Personally, it's been a few years, that, I have not enjoyed the All-Star game. Mainly because, they don't play hard. You can't even call it playground basketball because, we play harder on the playground. It's kind of just like, they just kind of out there. But, I was watching a clip earlier today of Kobe Bryant speaking about how, the NBA All-Star game is supposed to be, the best pickup basketball game in the world. You know what I mean? And the fans want to see the players play. I want to see them hoop. So, I agree with that. I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. And I wish they went a little bit harder. They don't have to go, 40 plus. But I remember a few years back, it was a little bit more. They would get after it a little bit more, and definitely you would see it towards the end of quarters, and at the end of the game, it would always real competitive. Dudes started playing defense. You know what I mean? Nowadays it's just kind of like an open shootout. Dudes just pulling up from everywhere and just shooting threes. Like, it's already becoming that throughout the season. So if we just see that in the All-Star game as well, it's a shame. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame. But congratulations to Jason Tatum. You know what I mean? Won the MVP and broke the scoring record, 55 points, most ever score in an All-Star game. So congrats to him. Donovan Mitchell also had a great game with 40 points for Team Giannis. And then, on Team LeBron, you had Jaylen Brown with 35. And then you actually had Kyrie and Embiid, who I thought were actually trying to play a little harder. They were trying to actually encourage their teammates to play D and all that. They both had 32. They played well as well. But for the three-point contest, Dame Dollar won it. Damian Lillard, amazing shooter. And then the dunk contest wasn't bad. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad. Mac McClung, he won the dunk contest, and he had some great dunks. So that was cool. So congrats to Mac McClung and Damian Lillard for winning the dunk contest and three-point contest. So now that that's out of the way, we're coming into the second half of the season, NBA season, which is actually a little less than half of the season, but they call it like the halfway mark. But now is when it starts to count for real. You know what I mean? And teams start to get into playoff mode. So we'll see what happens. I think that the play-in tournament is still in this season. So we'll see who makes it to that. Should be interesting. It was some wild trades. So, you know what I mean? We have some changes. Kyrie Irving to the Dallas Mavericks. I want to speak real quick on that because, as always, as always, the media getting on Kyrie, being like, oh, he's such a bad teammate. You know what I mean? He left his squad, he abandoned his team, all of that. Truth is, it was time to make a deal for his new contract. And the team, he felt like they weren't making the right offer. You know what I mean? It was a business move. They weren't making the right offer for him. I believe it was a condition in there. They wanted him to, win a championship in order to get whatever. So, and he didn't think that was fair. So he made the right move. He was like, I want to trade. He said later on that he wanted to be where he was wanted, where he was valued for what he is, of a great player. So that was that. Big up to Kyrie. He's in Dallas now playing with Luka. Now, I'm not a Dallas Mavericks fan, but, I do like Kyrie, and I think they have a lot missing on that squad still. They don't have enough defense in order to be a real contender and all that. But offensively, do I think it can work? I do. A lot of people don't think Luka and Kyrie can work. I think it can, mainly because I saw Kyrie do it with James Harden. You know what I mean? Everybody was like, they both ball dominant. They ball dominant. It's not going to work. But Kyrie was able to be like, listen, I'll move over to the 2 and let you hold the rock. And Kyrie's such a great player that, he was able to move without the ball and still make it work. So I think he can do that with Luka as well. And I think they can both make it work because they both so great. They know basketball, and they know, and if they really want to win, they can make it work. Another crazy trade was KD. Now KD to the Phoenix Suns. Now that becomes something serious. The Phoenix Suns are officially a war machine. I think, obviously, on paper, they're a championship team. Do I think they're going to make it work this year and they're going to be able to win? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I do believe it's possible. I would like to see, Chris Paul win a chip. I feel like he deserves it. He's one of the greatest point guards of all time, in my opinion. And it would be dope to see him win a championship. I see there's rumors that they want to bring in Melo. Chris Paul wants Carmelo Anthony to sign with the Suns as well. I think that would be dope. I am a Melo fan, and I think that would be dope also for Melo to get a championship. But I would love to see Melo retire as a Knick also. You know what I mean? As a Knick, I think Melo should retire as a Knick. That would be dope. But if he gets this championship with the Suns, I won't be mad. KD, I believe, still has a few years to do his thing in the league, and I think it's possible. They got a great squad over there in Phoenix. Obviously, we'll see how that works. Now the Lakers made some moves. You know what I mean? They got D'Angelo Russell, and I feel like they got a little bit better. I feel like they got better. Once again, if guys are healthy, of course, that's always the if with Anthony Davis and all that. But if everyone is healthy on the Lakers, I think they could make some noise if they make it to the playoffs, obviously. I think they could do some. Much respect to LeBron James for, becoming the all-time leading scorer. He passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem, man, much respect for what he did, back in the day and for being such a great player. But lately he's been saying some real Uncle Tom type shit. I don't know what's wrong with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but lately him along with, all these dudes, Charles Barkley, Shaq, all these dudes been saying some wild stuff. I guess it's the times we're in. They're feeling pressure from up top, but Kareem, I don't know but anyway, yeah, congrats to LeBron. And he deserves it. We'll see, man. I hope the Lakers can be somewhat good again, that he doesn't go out, that LeBron doesn't finish his season, not making the playoffs 3-4 times straight. That would be whack. But we'll see how it goes, and we'll see if he stays there till the end of his career, and if he gets to play with his son. That would be crazy to see, LeBron play a season with his son at the highest level of basketball. The New York Knicks, my squad, you know what I mean? As a Knicks fan, I feel like, Knicks got Josh Hart before the end of the trade deadline. I feel like it was a good move. I feel like it helps them. I feel like they got a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. I do believe they're going to Obviously being the playoffs, which is good. But I don't know. I don't know if they're, I still believe the problem with the New York Knicks is up top in the organization. I hate management. I hate owners. Uh, I don't, I don't like what's going on up there, And I believe until that changes up there, the Knicks won't be able to beat, a championship team. So unfortunately, that's the way it is right now with my New York Knicks. Hopefully they can still be somewhat good, this for the rest of the season, and in the hopefully in the playoffs. Hopefully they can make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. Anything can happen in the playoffs. So moving on, hip hop. Hip hop celebrates 50 years. We are in 2023. Hip hop was officially born in 1973. So that's it, 50 years of the culture. I remember when, when I was a kid, I started getting into hip hop. Older people would tell me, it's just a fad. It's going to go by soon. You know what I mean? It won't be around for long. And I'm saying, you're just doing this as a kid. You'll get over it. I remember that. But shout out to hip hop. Shout out to the culture and to all the hip hoppers out there. The real hip hop, because usually we tend to, confuse hip hop with the rap industry. You know what I mean? We tend to confuse hip hop, the culture, with just, rap music, which is part of the culture, but it is not hip hop as a whole. And hip hop is African culture. You know what I mean? Big started in New York with people of African descent mainly. And you could see that in it. You could feel that in it. The graffiti, the hieroglyphics, you could see the MCs, like the West African griots. You know what I mean? You could see, all of it, the way it's put together, unity, having fun. You know what I mean? It's the way we live. It's how we eat. It's how we talk. It's how we dress. It's everything. It's a culture of resistance. You know what I mean? And I believe today, every culture must have aspects of resistance in it. So shout out to hip hop and the real hip hoppers. PBS just dropped a series, Fight the Power, How Hip Hop Changed the World. I believe Chuck D is involved in the making of this series. And I haven't been able to watch it because I don't have access to PBS. But How Hip Hop Changed the World, that's interesting. It's interesting to check out. I have had some people that saw the series let me know how they felt about it, and some liked it and some felt like it was a little bit too, that it didn't get into the radical part of it enough. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. But, it's important to document hip hop all the time, and it's important for us to do it. It has to be documented by us, by people of the culture. But I do believe there's a lack of hip hop, documentaries and short stories that talk about, how important the Black radical movement has been to the culture and how it is part of the culture, actually. But, it's not just in the US also, because we can't forget that hip hop is an international movement. You know what I mean? It began in New York, but today it's worldwide. And I think we always have to keep that in mind. Another great series that's out is, Wu-Tang, an American Saga, which I love. I've been watching it. You know what I mean? The latest season is out now. So that's dope. It's really dope. I like how they made that. I hope more legendary hip hop groups, do series like as such. You know what I mean? Like it would be dope to get one of those from maybe the Boot Camp Click. You know what I mean? It would be dope to get one of those from, even like BDP. You know what I mean? Public Enemy. You know what I mean? X-Clan, all of them, man. That would be dope. So yeah. Another series that I've been watching, you know what I mean, to get back to basketball, Last Chance U, but the first one was the first one was dope. I felt the first one was better. The second one I know I'm late. I'm still watching it. I haven't finished it, but it's because I've had a lot going on, and it's not as good, I feel. Mainly because Coach Mosley is doing too much, in my opinion. Now he's doing too much. The cameras are on, and he's just making a fool out of himself. Just more show than necessary. Like, coach your players, man. Just don't. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's still kind of dope. I still enjoy watching it. Last Chance U, and there's a dope documentary coming this year. Stand. It's about Mahmoud Abdul Rauf and how they blackballed him, how his career was cut short, you know what I mean, for standing up for something. For those of you who don't know, kind of like Kaepernick before Kaepernick. And he was an amazing player, man. So much respect, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. And I'm looking forward to seeing that documentary. So when we talk about hip hop, we always talk about MCing, just because it is the most, recognized element of the culture. And so recently, like, they always make top MC lists, you know what I mean? But recently, Billboard made their top 50 MC list. Now, obviously, when I see that it's Billboard, I'm skeptical for obvious reasons, because it's Billboard, it is kind of ridiculous. There's a lot, I could say a lot about this top 50 list, you know what I mean? Snoop Dogg is in the top 10. I disagree wholeheartedly. Even though I loved Snoop Dogg when I was a youth, you know what I mean? But I don't believe he's top 10 greatest MCs of all time. Not even close. Black Thought is number 28 and KRS is number 24. You can't name me 20 to 28 rappers that are better than Black Thought and KRS-One, dog. It's just not realistic. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, Billboard. But anyway, shout out to hip hop, shout out to the culture. We are going to keep this episode short, you know what I mean? But it is Black History Month, it's February. And I believe, I hear a lot of, people saying they don't celebrate Black History Month. Some say they do. Some say, if you do, what do you do during Black History Month? That's different. Black history should be, all year round thing, which I agree with. We should always celebrate our history as people of African descent, all year round. But I think one thing that's important is with Black History Month, just not to just make it like a holiday. Like, every year, February comes around, and so we say, yeah, our history, we did this, we did that, and that's great. March comes around, April, and we just keep rocking. I think we need to, transform history into reality. I think that's important. Learn from the past, learn from our ancestors, learn from our great leaders, see what they did right, see what we can take from them, organize. I've spoken about this. We need to be part of organizations and, learn from the past and apply in the present. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe it should just be a systematic thing where, yeah, Black history, blah, 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 and we don't do anything. So I think it's something to think about. You know what I mean? And I think we also always need to go to the root. You know what I mean? Like, it's cute to say, MLK was so great, Martin Luther King, this and that. But let's talk about it for real. Let's talk about why he got assassinated by the state. Why was he a threat to the state? Because he was a revolutionary. He was not just a dreamer. He was a revolutionary. He was about destroying systems of oppression. So, that's just one of our leaders. But overall, yeah, I think we need to dig deeper, and get to the root of these problems and stop doing charity work, and get into deep grassroots organizing. So for my book recommendation, since it is Black History Month, and since we are talking about some of our great leaders, I want to honor Malcolm X. Malcolm X, in my humble opinion, is one of the greatest human beings to ever walk on this planet. He was forever evolving. You know what I mean? He was evolving. He knew how to recognize his mistakes. He knew how to adapt. He knew how to keep constantly growing and growing, and that's what it's about. That's what we should be about as people, just growing and understanding admit when we do something wrong and just keep on moving forward, and not just do things for our own good, but for the good of our people. So that's what Malcolm X embodied. So I want to recommend this book. It's Malcolm X Speaks, and it's basically certain speeches of Malcolm towards the end of his life, like before he was assassinated. And it's very interesting because you see his growth and where he was at, and you kind of get an idea of where he was going. Unfortunately, he was assassinated, but it's definitely an interesting book. So please check it out. Yeah, that's about it for episode number 25 of the Vital Hoops podcast. Before I go, as most of you know, I am an MC as well. I got a single coming out with my wife, YLA and XB. We got a single coming out real soon. Check that out. I'm gonna actually, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm gonna put in the description, I'm gonna put the link of our previous single that we dropped a few years back. It wasn't a single, it's actually a track we did on one of our albums, one of the 340 MS albums. 340 MS is my group, hip hop group. Shout out to 340 MS, my cousin AB Cardenas and I. And shout out to Guerrilla Republic Cuba, Diaspora Rutgers. But yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. My wife and I dropping a single. And check out our old video. Like I said, I'm going to put the link. It was called Rebel Rhythm. And it was a dope little video that we produced in Cuba. Yep, that's that. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely go check out the website, as I said, vitalhoops.net. And remember, hit us up. Let us know. Write us, contact us, vitalhoopspodcast@gmail.com. We thank you for rocking with us, for following the show. Please, once again, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your loved ones, with your enemies. Check us out on IG as well, at Vital Hoops Podcast, Twitter at Vital Hoops Pod. We're on Facebook as well. And just spread the word, like, share, subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We're here. Vital Hoops is for the culture. Peace.